Today's story begins with a young woman from Bac Lieu. Now living and working in Cannes, she sent in a story that happened in her neighborhood a few years. A awesome thing she personally witnessed from beginning to end. Her house was in an alley near the market. The alley was large and packed with homes. Because it was so close to the market, theft happened often, so almost every house kept dogs. Some had 1 or 2, others had 3, 4, even 6. Her family kept 3. About 5 houses away lived her cousin, the son of her father's sister. He owned a dog named Ken. Ken was 13 years old, a big and intelligent Fuquoc dog. In the center of his forehead was a white spot, so the neighbors jokingly called him Duan Tien. Everyone in the alley loved him. Every afternoon, her cousin took Ken for walks, visiting house to house. Because of that, people cared for the dog deeply. At the alley entrance lived Mr. Tam, his wife, and their only son. 3 people in the family. Their family was wealthy. Mrs. Tam was kind, but Mr. Tam was arrogant and looked down on others. Because of his attitude, no one liked him. People only talked with Mrs. Tam and their son. They ignored Mr. Tam entirely. Life went on normally until one evening. While her family was eating, they suddenly heard her cousin shouting and crying loudly. Everyone rushed over and found him sobbing while holding Ken in his arms. Her father ran in, asking what happened. When he looked at Ken, he immediately realized the dog had been poisoned. Ken's eyes were rolled back, his tongue hanging out, and his body twitching violently. Her father shouted for lemon and chicken eggs, hoping to save the dog. Her cousin cried while chanting Buddha's name, begging for Ken's life, but nothing worked. The dog gasped a few times and died. Her cousin wailed in grief. Everyone in the alley felt heartbroken because Ken had been such a smart and gentle dog. The narrator herself cried when she saw him die. Her father asked the cousin if he had let Ken roam freely. The cousin explained he had fed Ken earlier, tied him in the front hall, then went to hang laundry. When he returned, Ken was gone only, the chain left. He thought the chain had slipped loose. He searched for Ken and eventually found him, brought him home, tied him again, then went to nap. When he woke, Ken was already convulsing with white eyes. Her father concluded that someone must have tempted Ken with food earlier. Her cousin cried that he had raised Ken for 13 years and loved him like family. He cursed whoever was cruel enough to poison him. Afterward, they buried Ken and everyone returned home. 1 or 2 weeks later, 2 puppies from the narrator's household were also poisoned in the same way. She cried in despair. Then, dogs all over the alley died one after another. Anger spread, but no one knew the culprit. Her father guessed someone was angry about dogs urinating or defecating in front of their home. But he said poisoning was heartless. People should simply talk to the owners instead. Another week or 2 later, while her father was buying morning coffee, he happened to see Mr. Tam sitting with a stranger. He wasn't fond of Mr. Tam, so he looked away, but he overheard their conversation. The stranger asked, "So, any dogs still peeing in front of your house?" Mr. Tam replied, "No, I poisoned them. Their owners won't dare let them roam anymore. I think no dog will ever come near my house again." Her father realized instantly that Mr. Tam was responsible for all the poisonings. However, he kept silent, fearing the neighbors, especially her hot-tempered cousin, would confront or attack Mr. Tam. Half a year passed. In October, her mother rushed home from the market, shouting that Mr. Tam had died. He had committed suicide by drinking rat poison. Her father remembered the earlier conversation and whispered, "Is this karma?" He told his wife everything for the first time. She was shocked and agreed it must be retribution. He later told the cousin as well. Though angry, the cousin said nothing since Mr. Tam was already gone. The funeral was held, and life continued. Weeks later, before Mr. Tam's 49th day ceremony, Mrs. Tam revealed that her husband had suffered terrifying nightmares for months, hearing dogs barking, howling, scratching the door, though no one else heard anything. Some nights he woke in panic, ran to the door to check, then returned, pale and shaking. Their family had no debts or troubles. There was no reason for him to take his own life, except those nightmares. Around the 49th day, Mrs. Tam had a dream. She saw her husband return, his face and body covered in scratches and bite marks, clothes torn, blood dripping. She was frightened but also emotional to see him. She asked why he looked like that. Mr. Tam cried, saying, "They attacked me. The dogs, they bit and tore me apart. They cursed me, saying my karma was heavy for poisoning them. They said, if I don't finish paying my debt, our son will continue it." Hearing this, she realized what her husband had done. She woke terrified and told close neighbors. After the 49th day, she decided to sell their shop, land, and leave the area. She kept only the house for her son. Her son refused to leave, so she went alone and never returned, not even when her son died later. She disappeared completely. A year or two after she left, their son, who was part of the LGBT community, continued living there. He was friendly but had a complicated love life. He often brought different partners home. Eventually, he contracted HIV and had other health issues. His condition worsened, and he passed away. His mother did not return even for his funeral. Only his aunts handled the ceremony. Today the house remains abandoned, cold, eerie, and silent. Some years, relatives come to clean and perform memorial rites. Other years, no one visits. The place feels haunted every time someone walks by.